Since you've come across this video at this hour,
Congratulations,
everyone, you found
this
another
is the
gem.
must-watch wilderness survival series
Watching it
before
is
bed.
guaranteed to help you drift off
And
to
while
sleep.
you're at it,
your
guess
left
what?
foot is probably resting on your right.
If I'm right, I'm right.
If I'm wrong, just pretend I never said
Enough
anything.
of the chatter.
Let's get straight to today's bedtime story. Just as early winter arrived, it was hit by a
Belgium,
heavy snowfall,
covering every inch
of the land in a blanket of white. At this moment, Hanan was walking on a snowy forest
After
path. Choosing a suitable spot, he decided to set up camp right there. The first step to building a shelter is, of course, to gather enough
Hanan
supplies.
took out his axe
And had a friendly negotiation
In
with
the
the
end,
trees. He successfully convinced them to lend him some logs. Then he carried them back to camp, placing one end directly on a nearby
This
slope.
completed
The main beam of the shelter.
He
then cleared the snow from the ground. Dashan noticed the shelter space was a bit cramped, so he found another log. He used his hatchet to trim off the excess branches. Then he stacked it on top. As for the extra part, Hanan simply took out his handsaw and cut it off. The next step was to build the horizontal beams for the
Hanan
shelter. Quickly chopped out grooves in the main beam. At this point, snowflakes began to fall. Hanan, without even realizing it, sped up his work. And just in no time, he had cut the grooves for the horizontal beams. He then methodically placed them on top of the ground. He of course laid down the pine needles he had just
not
gathered,
only
but
made the
also
floor
helped
softer
block
from
moisture
seeping
seeping into a certain extent. The roof was done the same way. He followed the same procedure, covering the roof with
Although
pine
there were
needles.
large
gaps between the pine needles. By layering them 3 times inside and
Hanan
out, perfectly
After
solved
a
the
long
problem.
day of work,
Hanan immediately took out his floor mat and
then
laid
cut
it down
some sausage
and drank some orange juice to replenish his energy. The cold weather meant Hanan couldn't rest for too long. He decisively used birch bark to light a bonfire. Then he took out a wool blanket and spread it out. This meant the bonfire peacefully fell asleep. The next day arrived in a flash, and the heavy snow was still falling. Hanan woke up early, ready to continue improving the shelter. After a few stretches, he quickly sawed the log, preparing to build the shelter walls. Then he took the cut logs and propped them up at a 45-degree angle on both sides of the shelter. Can effectively increase the interior space. He then went back into the forest to collect
and
pine
laid
needles
them out
on both sides of the shelter. The snow was getting heavier, but luckily the shelter was already taking shape. However, a lot of snow was still falling
clever
in through
Hanan
the and
immediately
roughly
took
secured
a
it with
log.
snow. This way, the log inside could act
For him
as
to
a
build
support.
a
Small porch that would block the wind. Hanan, who hadn't eaten breakfast since
Was
he
already
started starving. He immediately lit the bonfire again, and as the smoke drifted into the forest, it was as if it added a filter to the woods. Once the bonfire was fully lit, Hanan took out sliced pork belly and ground
fried
meat
them
on the fire. After a busy period, Hanan enjoyed a feast by the warm bonfire with a full stomach. Hanan contentedly admired the beautiful snow scene before him. Quietly slipped away. Outside, the heavy continued to fall relentlessly. Hanan was tucked away in the shelter he had built himself, and he drifted off to sleep
next
again. Morning, Hanan first boiled a pot of water and made himself a steaming hot cup of coffee. After a few sips, he felt his whole body warm up. Then he put on his backpack and began a new journey.